The MCDU is the interface between you and the aircraft. In this video, you will learn in a very friendly way the basic to know what information the aircraft must know in order to do what you want it to do. You can apply this in every single flight. At my academy, I always like to say this example. How you learn to ride in a bike. You first read and explore all the theory part, analyze why the bike is going at a certain amount of speed, blah, 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 blah. Or you just go there and start riding the bike. And then you will start to understand the physics of that. It's the same of the airplane. I will provide you the very basic knowledge so you can prepare the cockpit in an easy way. You don't need to learn every single thing, what every single page is doing it. You just need to learn the surface. Then when you start flying more the simulator, when you start spending more time on it, after that you can start thinking about exploring deeper on that. The very first good habit before going into the MCDU is set our ROS plan this way, 20 nautical miles. We will have a better idea what we are changing inside of the flight plan. We will use the acronym DIVSRIP. This is the way to do it for preparing the cockpit, preparing the MCDU. If you feel it's difficult, no worries. In a matter of no time, when you are practicing, you will learn it very easily. Data is basically updating the aircraft, which version they have, and you can change it here. Then we will go to init alpha. It's an introduction between you and the airplane. The airplane is asking you, hey, where do you want to go? For example, we are in Shanghai, Hongqiao, and we want to go, let's say, to Los Angeles. And you tell the aircraft, hey, we will go from Hongqiao to Los Angeles. The aircraft will say, which alternate? Well, pretty easy. Let's say alternate is Mike Tango Juliet, which is Tijuana. The airplane all know. The flight number, Fly Pro Academy, 320. The cost index, the easiest thing to see it is like the ratio between what the company will spend on the fuel to get faster to the destination. And this usually the companies use it from 0 to 50. So it just depends. If you select 0, the airplane will go slower, but we will save more fuel. But if you put it 50, the airplane is gonna be faster, but it will burn more fuel. It will change on the speed, cruise speed, climbing speed, and descending speed. 20-30 is like a normal thing, but you can put it as much as you want, 99, whatever you want or you feel to. The cruise flight level, pretty easy. Let's say we are doing flight level 330, and that's it. You don't need to know more about this. With flight plan, now you will tell the airplane that you go from Hongqiao to Los Angeles. He would like to know which departure, which arrival, which route are you using it, right? A pro tip is like you always, most of the time, when you cannot find the information or the most important relevant information is at the corners. So when you are not finding something, try to look at the corners. It's like a box ring, and you need to go to the corners in order to find something. For the second Hongqiao, we will select Hongqiao, and then it will change the departure. We are runway 18 right, and then we just choose pick a 61 departure. And then you can see the dashes here. Now we can see the departure and we can check it with the chart. And then you have it here. You have the information, you have everything. You don't need to know more after this. And then after PCAS, you have a flight plan discontinuity. That means that the airplane, after any point that is before and any point that is after, they don't have connection. So either you need to find the connection, or if you insert the route, there is no database on that, or you just put direct points. So if you want to set a route, you set from PCAS and you put airways. And here you can start filling the airways, depends on your flight plan or depends on what route you are using. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward. And then again, you will have, when you fill all this route, you will have a flight plan discontinuity, and then you need to set the arrival. Los Angeles arrival. Let's say, I don't know, ILS 6, and we will expect the visual, so no via. So we just scroll down to see on the map, and then we can see 06 right. And then if we agree with that, we just put insert. And that's it. You don't need to do more. After this green stuff, it will be a blue stuff. This is the flight plan, and this is gonna be, the blue is gonna be the go around procedure. And below that, again, it will ask you from Los Angeles the departure, and you can set here departure, and then it will ask you again the route, and then the Tijuana, they will ask you the arrival. And this, because everything is blue, that means that this is the alternate flight plan. Pretty easy, you don't need to know more about this. In aviation, we always have a second plan. We always have option B. We never stay only with one option because it's the safety thing, right? So secondary, we will copy, just like copy paste inside, the same as you are doing it on your computer. And you have everything again. But because it's a secondary flight plan, we can do whatever we want. We can modify as our convenience. If we're expecting different departure runway, or usually when you are thinking about what happens if there is an engine fire, you want to reduce the workload as much as possible. So the secondary flight plan, you will just activate and you have the second option. Let's say from PICAS, we will set new destination here. We just want to come back Hunchao. We put the ID of Hunchao, and again, it will ask you which approach you want. So we just put the arrival. Let's say ILS runway 18 left, via. And then you can see it, secondary flight plan. You can see now after, we're scrolling down, after PICAS, we're go direct to use the ILS approach runway 18 left. So if we are on the flight, we have an engine fire, something that we need to land immediately, we just activate the secondary flight plan and boom, they will switch to this approach. Easier. Radius, quite easy. Just not big deal. Just need to set the radius what you want for your departure. Then we just come back again with init. This is the only page that has 2 pages inside. And init alpha, this is init alpha. We just scroll here, init bravo. And here is everything about the fuel and the weights of the airplane. The zero fuel weight will always be on your flight plan, and every single time before your load sheet arrives, you will always have, like, say, the initial or the expected items. So zero fuel weight, it will always tell you this number, let's say 50, and this can change. Zero fuel weights might change in every single flight, but the one that we always use as a standard before the final numbers is the zero fuel weight CG, which is always 30%. So it doesn't matter, it could be 50, depends, it could be 48, but it will be always 30, okay? 48, 30, or it will be like 60, 30. Now it says minus because that means that we need more fuel in order to do all this route. But here they will display the more numbers, and this is everything about this fuel. It doesn't matter for now. Performance here, now for taking off the airplanes, depends on the fuel, on the weights, on the environment, the length of the runway condition. It's a lot of factors that now we have an electronic flight bag, which is the iPad that the company gives you. Usually they provide you iPads. And then there you will set all these numbers, all these different situations. But I know that you don't have this iPad and it's really hard to get the. So the easiest thing is if you are light is below 60 tons for takeoff. The speeds that I'm gonna suggest you is set speed 140, 140, 140, and flex 69. That is for 60 tons and below. If you are between 60 and 70, which they say is a medium weight for this the Airbus 320, we just select B1150, BR150, B2150, flex 50. And if you are heavy, which is means above 70 tons, we just set speed 155, 155, and flex 30. Again, this is gonna always depends on the situation, but be clearly this is just a rule of thumb to give you as easy as possible. But that will change. When you get deeper information, you will know that this is not always the same. And then there is the flaps configuration. Again, in general speaking, in a situation that we don't have these tools, the easiest thing is to think about like this. Config 1, if you have a long runway and you don't have any obstacles ahead, if you are not in the mountain zone, let's say you are at the sea level and everything is sky conditions clear and nothing there. So that will be the configuration would spend the less fuel. Then it's gonna be flaps 2 is like the most optimal. It's like they burn a little bit more the fuel than flaps 1, but they will give you more climb gradient. When you are in a very short runways on where you have a low visibility procedures, when you really want to go climb as fast as possible for the departure because you have obstacles or any situation like this, we will just set config 3. Quite easy, you don't need to think more about this situation. And then that's it, crew. I hope you enjoy the video. I try to give you the less information just to go ready to fly. The more that you iterate with this, the faster you will start preparing the cockpit, and there will be one time that you are not thinking anything and we just set everything that we just explained and go as on the way to the simulator. Hope you like this video and see you on the next one.